the Hoosier Triplets, a trio of Indiana authors road tripping through the romance genre and sharing what we love and learn. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, welcome to Hoosier Trips. We're talking AI today.
Are we scared of it?
Okay, well, I did grow up on, Skynet, okay?
Oh, yes.
And all of the things where technology becomes too big and, takes over and turns against humanity because we're so evil. Mm-hmm. So I do have some issues with that.
Do you have a friend named Sarah Connor?
I don't. Not yet.
Do you take your kid to the park ever?
And I rattled the chain link fence.
Now, I will say this, on Amazon, the AI has no clue what I want in my cart, and they give horrible, horrible suggestions. I'm like, well, who the hell would want this? This is stupid. And I'm not paying $300.
You do know sometimes it's if people send you links for Amazon that will affect your algorithm.
I don't get
I'm totally sending her butt plug.
Yes, start sending.
Do we want to just go with the one we don't want to do, which is what do you do when you don't want to?
I don't want to do that.
And the first thing, when people come to me and say, I want to write a book, I tell them before they even have an idea, a publisher, because they think that's step 2, is ass in chair, learn how to keep your ass in the chair and write. When it's a beautiful day outside, when the family's going to do something really fun, when your best friend invited you to lunch, when there are 2,000 things you should be doing, but you got to get the words in. You got to learn how to do that because it is a talent that you have to grow.
And I'm definitely finding that. This morning, I was like, oh, I've got a couple hours that I could be writing. So I started doing that. And all I really did was reread the little bit that I'd written and edited it, which I've already done 5 times. So that 5,000 words are chef's kiss. But I can't get past that.
I think we have been sold the bill of goods of the superwomen. And I respect the women out there that, the Becca Jamesons and the ones that, can just every day are just grinding it out. I respect that 100%. But my goal this year was to cut back. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to deaccelerate. Mm-hmm. But I'm enjoying it. And at 4:00, I'm done working. And I got to tell you, love kicking back watching my Judge Judy with my feet up and my drink and just, hey.
But see, nice. Becca's also doing what you said. She's butt in chair. She's writing every day. She's writing.
To drop another Becca Syme always talks about I love following her on Facebook. I feel like she always pops up in a feed when I really
need her.
Yeah, I know. She's I don't know. She's author Jesus. I don't know.
We are totally sending that to her today. Becca Syme.
And one post that she really does is kind of know what your capabilities are, know what your strengths are. If you did the strengths from the one RAM, but know that your process isn't going to work. I wish I could work your process and how you have things in the pipeline. It doesn't. And I know when I try to force myself into that round hole, but I'm a square peg. All I do is fight myself, and it does. I have to burn out and then recover from that and then to find my way back to my own. But look how many authors say that they're, backing out of the business or they're giving up because, their muse is gone. Yeah. And then it does seem like once they've done that, then they're back. So I don't know if it's just shifting your mindset to being, you don't have to write the book. You're already an author. We're all authors. We've written, we've published. That can't get taken away. So whether it takes us 2 months, 2 years, we don't lose that. I don't think this is if you don't use it, you lose it. I think we all have a little bit of that bad girl. If you're I'm taking it off the table until, spring break, is it going to make you, is it going to be well, boom, the flip is going to switch? Wait, the switch is going to flip.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it'll be there again because I don't. Reverse psychology yourself. Sometimes that works for me.
And if it doesn't work, then you can make up a story about me and all the ways you can kill me. Groundhog Day, but only kill MJ, over and over and over, do all these terrible things to her. See, there you go. And look, I can tell already, she's okay, number 1, number 2, I'm going to hide all my up.
Somehow Indiana's going to get infested with gators.
And the birds will fly them in.
Oh God, what it's some sort of like hawk gator bird hybrid, like Sharknado.
Did you see at the the PGA golf thing that there was a gator up, you know, where they're golfing, and then a guy that went to the University of Florida, which are the Gators, he like pushed it away with his club and like pushed him back into the water, and it's like, you are doing everything wrong. You know that is, and like and then there are all these like, do not do that. That is not how you handle a gator. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I was just like, this is why I don't do golfing anymore in Florida, and why even in Florida, and that I was like, I'm not walking next to the beach at Disney because they have gators.
So when you're not actively riding, when you're not doing the do, are you still thinking? Are you still percolating, you know, when you're doing the dishes or whatever? Is that going on, or are you just percolating all different kind of random ideas?
Randomness is sort of my jam. I think that's how I got through like boring farm chores of my youth. I was never like just feeding the horses or just mucking the stalls. I was like trying to spy on like the prince that owned the horse to get his like secret information. So I don't know, because
you were living the dream.
Yeah.
Do you doodle? Because I mean, you are pen paper artistic. Do you doodle? Because you know, I can barely like write legibly, so I don't doodle.
I really don't. I make lists. I make to-do lists. How lame is that?
Do you have like
lists? I love lists.
Okay,
I never do them, but I love them.
Mine are like, go home. Woo, check that off.
I brush, my one for today, brush teeth. No, I do daily. Sometimes I do morning, afternoon, and evening if I have a lot, but I do daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. Yeah, that's why the whole Kanban board was not hard for me.
I have never been more productive than when I was actively using a Kanban board, because like getting all the little Post-its and getting to move them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Well, that's one of my favorite things is be like, you know, take the Post-it note, check it off, you know, crumple it up and throw it away.
I threw it over on the floor, so I had like a pile of them, you know, because then it looked even more dramatic.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, no. Getting over the hump is knowing yourself and accepting the truth that yourself is telling you. Because, you know, we have been we've come a long way, baby. We broke that glass ceiling. We built the city on rock and roll. I mean, we've been told all these things, you know. And hey, I got on the 80s station the other weekend, but you know, we've been told all these things and we believe them, but they don't apply in 2025, and that's okay. Let's rewrite the rules. I don't sell enough to really be pirated. I figure that if that day comes and I become a sensation because I'm pirated and like all these people are talking about my books and all of this, then I'll give a shit. But right now I'm kind of like, every once in a while I'll get a message like, your book is up on this pirate site. I'm like, oh, which one?
I know. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Like, woo, I'm a legitimate author. I got pirated.
That one?
I remember the first time I saw one of my paperbacks for sale on eBay, and it was like a $12 paperback that someone was trying to get like $45 for. I'm like, I've made it. Or this is like how they're funneling drug money or something. I don't know, but
yeah. Worst advice I got, and I actually paid to take this class, so it's even worse. Goodreads is a great marketing tool to use. Personally, I always heard Goodreads was where you go to be inflicted with pain and get your soul crushed. So I have never spent much time on Goodreads. And then I think too, it's what are your goals for your work? And how aggressive are you in going after them? Because probably I would say out of the three of us, I'm probably the most aggressive as far as like trying something
I don't
that
think
seems
any of
radical.
us are going to argue out of the three of us that you're the most aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, but that's also, but you know, everybody hands you advice, but if they don't really know who you are, what your mindset is, what your pocketbook holds, it may not help you at all.
Like with Skywarn, and I think even like Jane Ryland, you know, they diversify, so it's not just books. They have their own stores and things that work. And I pushed really, really hard to try to get my own store up and going last year, but it got to the point where I'm like, well, I wanted to sell like some, bookish things and t-shirts. And it's like, well, how, if my reach for my books is kind of limited, then how is that? And what bookish, things am I going to offer that is going to be so different from someone else?
I think you offer a porn video.
There you go.
I think you do. Like maybe bunny porn or chicken porn.
Well, I could do chicken and, bunnies at this point.
Yeah, just,
You'd be like, you want to see my butt?
So, what's your name? Cindy.
It's not like I have two of them or anything. I mean, I say pretty. Thank you.
It's not even like, oh, what's your government name? I can't remember.
So maybe we don't always sell romance, but we're like love, like true love, like even if it's platonic love with, Carrie fishing out Samantha's.
Well, positive relationships, I think, is what we're in the business of.
Yeah.
And I think especially, and I think also for like fringe, like best friends, it's the toxic ones, or the good ones, or the ones that you see growing.
Yeah. That's why the found family is so. Yeah. It's such a big trope because
so often the families we're born into are not all that great.
Exactly. So you've got to find your own family. You have to find those familial positive relationships. Just because they're not blood related doesn't mean that they can't be called family. And I think that's the same thing. So anyway, let's introduce the topic we're already talking about.
Dad bods and selling more than just sex, because it's not cliterature. It's the dream. That's what we're selling here.
When they first started, the authors that were writing them, but like they were revolutionary. Like, I'm going to write a dad bod.
That's like, I'm going to write a curvy heroine.
Well, yeah.
It's a size 8.
Yeah. Or she's very curvy, but my palm fits around her waist. Which
because apparently you make Andre the Giant look like, average size. The dad bod would bring home 2 pizzas, so it would be better, because then there's 2 different kinds and you can share.
The dad bod would call and say, how many tacos do you want? I'm making a run.
And then double it, because, I'm trying to be like dainty and feminine. Be like, I only want 2 tacos. I told Marvin that once. I'm like, I just want a taco. He brought me back a singular taco. And I had to tell him, I'm like, I may say I want a taco, but one is always at least 6. Like, don't even. Like, what is an orc? I thought everyone had tusks.
I am so fascinated in the orcs and the kissing with the tusks. I am fascinated by this, and I just read one. I think Friday night, and she even says, "What do we do with these tusks?" He's like, "Oh no, just lean forward and purse your lips," and it all worked out. But
I would be more concerned about the going downtown with those tusks, because maybe I want some.
I think they're handles. I would think.
No, I'm thinking of like oral.
I am too, and he's between her.
How big are the tusks if she's holding on?
I think they're like big, like
mammoths.
I
always thought it was just.
I thought they were mammoths.
Well,
my orcs are. He's mammoth all over.
Have you seen pictures of orcs? Artistic rendering.
Oh my god, you've ruined them. I'm always going to picture like a walrus now.
Only in reverse.
Oh yeah, or like a woolly mammoth.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, so here.
Well, then it wouldn't really matter because there's that trunk.
Like they're doing things. I'm like, that takes a lot of contortioning. That just seems a little excessive.
Well, and usually and then like how they shift from one move to the next. Okay. You and I were dancers, Ava. I mean, we do have a degree of flexibility, but there are just certain things.
You just got to do it.
And a lot of times you got to dismount. You got to dismount and reattach.
Well,
I mean, there's none of this like, oh, you just roll and climb and the leg goes over, and everything's still all together.
Well, and all like
so at some point somebody's farting during all this.
Well, I was just gonna bring up like the queef or something, or the. I love how like they make the sound sexy, but sometimes like the slurple whatever sounds you're kind of like what has happened?
Yeah.
Like have we stepped in a mud puddle?
It's like what was and well it's always like what was that and is something I should be concerned about? You know, if I hit a wet spot, what is it going to feel like? Yeah.
Listen, I have a friend in Saratoga who wrote a whole series of shapeshifter novels and used African animals, and so the lion was really cool. The elephant I was having a little trouble with. I'm like, elephants smell. So when the guy shifts back, has he lost that elephant pee smell?
What do you think lions smell like?
Didn't think
There's
a
a lot of smell going
Your
on.
father and you were up on an elephant, if you recall, and it peed almost to my foot. So I got a really good whiff of elephant pee. I've not been that close to a lion to get a whiff
why
of
not?
lion pee.
Your mother was damaged getting up there.
Terribly, I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, I was like, I mean, there's a picture of me, and I'm looking like the little princess of the world, like
so happy.
on this elephant, like yes, like
This is awesome.
Yeah. I have my rock star and the country singer and the Rolling Stone. She was very sensitive because she had stretch marks, and her ex-husband had made fun of them, and so she was very hesitant. And my hero, the hero, was like basically bullshit. You have scars because you gave birth. I have scars because I was stupid and fell off a bronking, and football injuries. So they're scars of honor. And so I tried to deal with that. Sometimes somebody's like, sucking it in. Oh, I'm not wearing, she's not wearing bikinis. She's wearing takis. Sometimes I don't really get into a whole thing. I mean, it's somebody who is, especially in the sweet romances, the Hanukkah romances for Dickens, it really didn't have to get a lot into what fits where and how, because those were sweet, just a kiss. But I have to say, one of the variations we had was Leah and I were driving back from Maine, and she was like, and we had seen a wedding take place, a wedding picture take place out on the rocks, and Leah turned to me and said,
there's nobody I love enough to walk on rocks and hills.
That's just a straight ankle waiting to happen.
I was like, and she had like 9 bridesmaids.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Like,
All I see is swept away
I was
shark
like, these
food.
poor women, and I'm like, a good friend does not ask you to go spelunking
Who's the
in
good
heels
friend
and
here?
a gown.
Because it's not the bride.
Yeah.
I would say that we owe a lot of what has happened with Season Romance to Karen Booth and to Roxanne St. Clair for just those 3 books.
I'm going to put your name out there though, because you took it to the people. You took it to the man. You did not pull back or be like, okay, pump me up. I mean, you're like, no, I'm going to go ask them. I'm going to confront them. And I mean, that to me is, as a baby author who decided she was writing season romance. I wasn't like, I was like, I'm not writing about a 22-year-old. And, you were truly one of my favorite people. And I, just like, I'm just going to follow along behind her. I'm just going to march, but I'm going to wave the flag along.
Well, we've had a lot of support,
We really have.
Everybody has backed us up, and I think it's become more of an accepted genre. I think more people are beginning to recognize it. We still have to keep pushing, but as I said, I had the luxury of this was not going to put food on the table for my family. I have my arbitration practice, and thank you God for the state of New York and a nice retirement system. So I can write what I want, and I had, as you were talking about, Entangled, other publishers were saying, well, could you, maybe if you did this, if you made them this age, and this was and I'm like, I write strong women because I have known strong women.
You are a strong woman.
I've tried to be a strong woman.
You've raised
tried to raise a strong woman, which she has far surpassed anything I ever dreamed. But I don't write emasculated men. Some of my books, it's like a battle of the wills because it's 2 mighty forces meeting. Some, it's a strong woman that has some needs and meets a man who recognizes the needs and is that kind of a man who can be a strong man but can be supportive and not feel like his masculinity is being compromised. So I write men like my late husband. I write men like men friends I have, that I respect and admire, and I write strong women, and I write the men who are strong, because to be because there's too much, just like we're talking about women's roles, there's that image of men, they can't cry, they have to do this, they have to do that, they can't do the dishes, they're not supposed to take care of the baby. There's still that image permeating around. So I think to be a man who is a supportive partner, takes a lot of strength, because you're going against the norm in a lot of places. So I'm trying to write the world the way I see it and the way I would like it to be for people.
Is cursing off limit?
No, fuck no.
Okay, good.
We've talked all sexual positions and anal and all this.
And Grandpa hooking up, and we're not making fun of Grandpa losing his teeth when he ate her out.
You did that.
I will say this: I think the Black women in television production, picking screenplays, casting, I think they have moved the plus size acceptance movement forward 100 times more than the white chicks. Thank you, Kathy Bates. But
but she hasn't been put in like the
Sexy,
main character romantic.
Well, she's talked about that. Like when they, when she talks about her career, she's like, no one would ever consider me for that part. I couldn't get But I just think right now is such an exciting time to see women actually, that have always been like had to play the best friend, or just stand and be like the one holding a cup at a cocktail party,
or the joke,
the comedic.
They're getting their time, and they're treated just like a normal regular.
They're considered sexy. They're given Bridgerton, like the last season.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was so. The carriage, we had a whole the thing went viral with this, it was so hot, and then their love scene was so hot.
Oh my God, her complexion. I want to stroke her.
Man, she is gorgeous.
I want to go to the TV screen and just run my fingers.
She's gorgeous.
It is.
And she was from the first season for me. I was just salivating for her season. I couldn't wait for it. But I agree. I think just historically, because Black women have come in all sizes and shapes always, and we've always celebrated our curves.
And I will say this: I'm thinking of the Sunday church women. They have always worn it well. They have dressed up, and
we know how to dress our curves.
Yeah,
so you're not trying to hide it
at all.
Emphasize it.
No,
absolutely.
And of course, we in culture. Our community, as well as any community, has we have come up against the ideals of what beauty is, just like anybody else in this world. But I think just because of how the sizes that we come in and how we've embraced our curves because of who we are, because of how we dress, because our beauty has always not typically been considered beautiful, period, because of who we are. We have, in our community, we've just embraced who we are. That includes our curves. We've always considered our lips beautiful, our hips beautiful, our ass beautiful, the breasts. And with the small waist or the thick waist or the belly, that's the hair.
I love the belly part. I love that.
Yes.
And because where was I think I was waiting for when Mike had his carpal tunnel surgery, and I ended up getting coffee, and two women, and they were both white, but they were talking about the belly, and the one's like, I don't care anymore. I just let mine jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And she goes, and I got that from watching Love and Hip Hop. I'm like, well, now I'm scooped my chair where I'm like, we are soul sisters, because
That's why I consider Prince the sexiest man that I know.
So have you seen the memes? It's like, Prince. Prince could, wear high heels and makeup and take your girl and your girlfriend's girl.
Can you share a little bit about your father? Just because he's been a major influence on you. Yeah, tell us a little bit about
He's
him.
I have a wonderful
Well, only
relationship
tell
with
us
my
good
father.
stories. We don't.
Yeah.
Don't tell us how he leaves his drawers on the floor, or
his teeth.
He's like him and my grandfather like the blueprint. He's the reason why I ended up with my husband, because I had a wonderful example of who a man should be. And so we have this wonderful relationship. He's a pastor, but he was one of the first people I called when I sold my book, and he was excited for me. And he knows what I write, and he was like, he's still to this day, he tries to coach me on how to write a love scene, and I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. But when I first decided like that I wanted to, I thought about it. I hadn't even decided because I was afraid to like pursue writing pursue it as in publishing, because it was like a pipe dream. Yeah, but I've been writing since I was, in the 7th grade. Like that's when I wrote my first book when I was in the 7th grade. And yeah, me and Ralph Tresvant.
Do you still have it?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you like go back and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm
absolutely not. I'm too embarrassed to read it. But I do have it in the trunk. I'm just way too embarrassed to read it. But I went home for a visit, and because my father had this saying, he was like, we don't do entertainers in this family, we do scholars. In his defense, me and Nina were determined to be the female version of New Kids on the Block. So there's that. No, because we can't sing Worth a Day. We can't sing Worth a Day. So that's true. That's true.
Details.
But,
Don't take that.
That was his saying. So I was afraid to tell him that I wanted to pursue writing, right? But I went home to New Jersey for a trip, and we ended up going to like our favorite diner that we always used to eat at when I was home and when I was growing up. And I just got up the nerve to tell him. And I was just waiting for him to say, you need to do something that's gonna make you some money. You need to be realistic. Instead, he was like, the first thing he said was, well, have you finished the book? I was like, yeah, I'm almost there. Are you gonna copyright it? Because you need to copyright it. You need to. He just started giving me all this advice. I love it. And he's like, well, what about, are you taking classes? And I was like, well, I looked into RWA has a chapter, and he asked me what RWA is. I told him. He was like, you go home, you join it, I'll pay for your first year.
Oh,
and he did.
I love it.
He did.
Love
He's always supported
to
me.
hear and I especially love the story of the father supporting a daughter, and not to be a beauty queen, but to be a queen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your career. How many books published?
I guess I'm just like 54, 55.
In how many years?
2005 will be 16.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And genres? Subgenres.
Romance, I've done contemporary romance, erotic romance. I took a trip over to the paranormal side and then jumped right back over here to my lane. I've done romance suspense, and as of recently, I'm dark romance.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my first dark romance with Brambles coming out in October.
Oh,
Exciting. It is. I'm so excited.
I am a dark romance reader.
Are you?
Oh, honey.
Okay, if y'all want arcs, you just ask me.
So, is this a mafia?
It is a mafia dark romance.
Sell your book, Chippy.
Fairy tale retellings, but it's it revolves around the women, like the princesses, and they're like mafia princesses.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So that's
Original mafia princess. Good. I'm so glad.
There's blood play in the second chapter.
Okay.
Of the first.
Good.
And not a vampire inside.
But I mean, that's one of my. That is
cuts
one of my
skin.
things. I
During a blowjob.
I get irritated with all the virgin princess. I want.
She ain't a virgin.
I
So the
love
first one is
those.
Snow White. It's called Huntsman. So it's based on Snow White and the Huntsman.
Okay.
I love. I can't wait. I mean, have hard nipples.
Follow here.
It's got that too. It's got that too. Hard nipple.
I love it.
Are they turgid?
We're not saying that word. The first book I read of yours, I meant to look up the name this morning. It's the tattoo.
Sin and Ink?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, honey,
Oh, that's
that
fun.
is
Yeah.
like
I was-
that is like melting, like
Yeah,
falling
that's
into
one of my favorites.
milk chocolate from a velvet sofa. That is so it is so sensual.
There's your new tagline.
That is.
It is so sensual. Because I mean, there's sex scenes and sex scenes, but like this is like just the feeling through the book. I mean, you know, it's like, so like when there's touching. I mean, like here. Ooh. If I could purr, I would. I love that.
I appreciate that has a special place for me because it was my first time writing first person, and I was scared too. But it was for it for a new line? I think it was for a new line, and so I was like, well, fuck it. If it's for a new line, I'm about to write like
I love it.
you know, I've never written first person, and for a long time, I didn't even like reading first person. I would not read a book that was first person.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I was the same.
I just couldn't get into it. Then I read Kylie Scott's Stage. What is it? Stage God. Yes.
Oh my God.
That whole series turned me out, and ever since then, I have been like gorging on first. It's like now it's like my go-to, and it's almost odd when I have to write third person, even though I still love it.
What if you can name, I don't know, 3 or even 1, what are the biggest changes that you have seen that have directly affected you since from
Kindle Unlimited? That was a huge one. Yeah. Kindle Unlimited, because that's where people could you could get books for free, and that's great. But then that in turn forced everything to be devalued lower, and so there was a bunch of books that were like 99 cents, and you had to compete with that. And I always thought, that is so, you are devaluing yourself. And as an artist, because I went to school to be an art teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I am an artist in addition to being a writer. And I look at, okay, I just spent how many hours on this oil painting that you had to have, and that you told me to rework 3 times. Okay, I'm going to charge you what's appropriate for the hours involved, but now here I'm going to put this book out that's got 100,000 words, and I'm going to put it for $1. I feel like I've just devalued myself and saying, well, this work is really important. This one's, and no, they're both important because there's sweat equity in both of them. But by having the Kindle Unlimited, I don't mind having like the first book 99 cents. That's cool. Bring the person in if that's what they want. Get them to write it. Get them to read it. Whatever. That's great. But don't keep all of them at that price. Part of what I do in my not writing life is I volunteer at the library, and I volunteer at the Friends of the Library. They've decided, I don't know why sometimes, that I should be the president. I am the president of that group. Every meeting I try to get myself fired. That's like okay, we're going to start the meeting. I'd like to be fired now.
I can give you some hints.
Oh no, they won't fire me until my term is up. I'm not, in fact, they'll say, just sit down, you're not going to get fired. Crap. Okay. But we do a book sale every year. And I've heard people complain, oh, used books, you shouldn't do that because then the author's not making money. Well, most of these are the big name, John Grisham's and whatnot. Yeah. They made their money the first time around. Yeah. I'm looking at it from the recycling standpoint of I want to make sure, okay, because I like that book, maybe you're going to like that book. And so what I will do, not for the book sale, but for books I've bought, like if I buy your guys' books, I'll read it and then I'll say, okay, and I'm going to give it away as a prize because I want you to read that person's book, and I want you to read that person's book, and I want you to read that person's book. And the person who wins it will say, what, it's got your name in it? Doesn't matter. I want you to read it. Yeah. Because I liked it that much, I want you to read it. Yeah. And it's this
extra special.
Right. And that's the other thing is I want to that's something I've noticed authors don't, it's either they do 100% or they don't, is we're not in competition with each other. Yeah. We're all on the same team, and
a rising boat lifts all, a rising tide lifts all.
Right. And my thought is, if I liked your book, maybe this person's gonna like your book. So I try to pass them on.
All of our books.
Right. I'm giving, and I bought the book to start with. Yeah. And I never do that with ebooks because that's just not cool. I do with physical copies, but I'm like, okay, here, you try it, you read it, because if I liked it, who's to say you're not going to like it?
Well, I don't know who started the rumor that authors are all millionaires. Because, I mean, because people automatically, they're like, oh, you are an author, you must make a lot of money. That's why I substitute teach.
Yeah. And then another thing authors will do is, I love all of us, but we inflate numbers so that we can look like we're more important. And there are some that are notorious for hyperinflating their numbers. Like, oh yeah, I had this many pre-orders, and I had this, and I had this, and I had this, and you sit there and you think, well, that's fine. But you're focused on just your pre-order numbers or this number. And why are you making sure we all know your pre-order number?
Well, and then it's like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
But now you have like taken yourself out of the equation as to an author I can even relate to.
Right.
Well, one of the very first signings I went to as a reader, in the background, starting to try to learn to write. And I'll never forget, I was at a table, lunch with a couple authors and readers, and after this one author got up and left, this author that I knew rather well goes, that fucking bitch, she thinks I'm so stupid. I could look her shit up on Amazon right now, and there is no way she is ranked, 975,000th, and she sold over 20 million of her books. I mean, she didn't even know that we can look this up. And I was like, note to self, people look you up.
Well, and the other thing that goes back to what I was saying, like from Desiree, is you start going on social media, oh, I had 1,000 pre-orders, or when I went to this con, I had 1,000 pre-orders. Okay, I can look it up and say there were only 500 attendees of that. So how did you have 1,000 pre-orders?
Absolutely.
And I mean, hey, I'm all for you do you be the best you. If that is your sales, cool. Awesome. I'm totally behind you, but at the same time, don't inflate it so that I think, oh, wow, I can't even talk to this person because she's so above me. Stop.
Your thoughts?
Okay, let me tell you the truth, ladies. Let me pull up my chair. Number one, you don't make someone buy something. They have their own free will. They will buy it. If they find out or later on they feel that they shouldn't have bought it, then they look at it as they learned from that. You gave them a learning experience. Number two, it's a lie that we should not talk great about ourselves or we should not push our product. It's a lie. We were taught to be nice girls. Nice girls don't prop themselves up. Nice girls don't go, hey, look, my boobs are awesome. You should like them too. We were taught that we should stand back and wait for the patriarchy to say, oh, look at you. You're amazing. Come here. Nuh-uh. We make our own music now. So I think it all starts with number one, you have to love who you are. I'm not saying you have to love your author self. We can make her whoever we want her to be, but we have to love her. We have to love her enough that we then take the next step, which is sharing that with other people, because we are so fantastic. So when people come to your table, they come to the table by own free will. Unless you have tied them to that space in front of your table, or they can leave.
Literally grabbed them by the arm and taken them from another author's table.
But yeah,
other people have done.
But we were taught that it was wrong for us to pro ourselves. But that was a great rule in the 60s. They also wore girdles in the 60s, and there were no tampons in the 60s.
Wasn't there still coke and pop though, like actual cocaine? And was that further than the 60s? That was probably more in like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, that was then, but this is now. If I firmly believe that if you don't believe in yourself and you don't push for yourself to be at the front of the bus, nobody else is. Nobody's going to get out of your way. I'm not getting out of your way, that's for sure. And it's not wrong. It's not wrong to love who you are. We put so much time, effort, money, our blood, sweat, and tears into our product. We should be proud of it, and we should tell you about it, because it's awesome.
I went through a really big dark romance phase for a while until I read some stuff where I was like, oh, okay. So then I just switched to like true crime podcasts and like murder documentaries.
To fall asleep to?
Yes, that's relaxing to me. It always freaks my husband out.
Introduce us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the great Melanie Jane.
I'm Cindy Tanner.
I'm Ava Cuvée, and I am all things space. The vital frontier.
You say you were spacey.
The tentacles. I've been thinking it for a while. Like bloggers seem to like don't exist anymore. You're an influencer now, because I had someone approach my table and they were looking at the stuff, and then I,
Approach your table at the indie event that we were doing.
yeah, and then she was very sweet and like flawless freaking makeup, like ridiculously, like it looked like it was airbrushed on. I wish I could do makeup that well. And she had like bookish earrings too, so it was like I complimented the earrings, and then that's when she's like, oh, I forget her name. But she's like, I'm an influencer, and I'm like, okay, because before I would always think as influencers like is trying to sell their Amazon list, but very much
How many TikTok followers do you need to have in order to be like influencer status?
I think you self-proclaim you're an influencer, or you're a Bravo celebrity, and if you're on Bravo on one of their reality shows, you're instantly an influencer. They say so because they're all partnered with Amazon and like do their shopping lists.
Okay, and I'm showing my age as well, because you can call yourself a pile of shit, but that doesn't mean you are. You can call yourself an influencer. That means nothing. First of all, that means nothing with like my, what you're laughing.
I'm laughing because I'm like, I know plenty of people that say they're a good person and they're not.
I mean, exactly. They're a pile of shit, right? So so here you say, oh, I'm an influencer. I was like, okay, good for you. What does that mean in your eyes?
I have had some success with book clubs, some other not so successful ones. I think I would. This is how I'm going to get kidnapped. I think I would almost prefer to do the ones in person because, and I've done virtual and it's been okay, but I've also done virtual and I can't remember if I was logged in early or I didn't log out when they thought they did, and then I got to hear honest.
Oh, what they really thought?
And it was nothing bad. It was just one of those things where I'm like, hi,
Still here.
I probably should have waited for that screen to go blank.
Oh my god!
And then the awkward. And I could have just logged off, but I wanted to make it weird because that's my thing.
The famous spicy versus
Sweet is it or clean?
Well, okay. Well, they call it clean. We call it sweet, spicy versus steamy. Like okay. So what's the
spicy,
difference between
steamy.
Spicy and steamy. Yeah.
Okay. So
I feel like I should just start being like, there's anal in this one and there's not anal in that one. And then, you tell me.
True story. I was at RT probably 2016. And at that time you could pitch your book. You went around tables of different publishers and you pitched your book. And it was a contemporary. I wasn't getting frustrated. I was just like, I knew that 99% of the people here did not give a shit about my book. The only one that did is when I lied to them and told them it was male. And it could be, I just changed your names. But so I ended up at Tor and they're like, well, what would you say the heat level is? And I said, there's no anal. And they're like, oh. Yeah, I mean, like the word, saying the word anal out loud. Like, these two women literally like paled, clutched the pearls, and almost had a heart attack. And I was like, well, it used to be blowjob. Like if you had a blowjob and described it, that was like the raciest. I mean, that was really. I remember that I was a teenager. It was hugely racist. And then at that point there was a lot of erotic romance, so anal, any ass play, that was like a real dividing line. I'm thinking like, hey, I'm speaking to them like I'm, focused. I know the language. They still talk to my friend was behind me in this, changing of the chairs, and they're like, did you hear what she said? She said anal. And,
you're like, it doesn't have that in there.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's, to me, I was being very clear, but like the cum queens, and when like the guy, are you, or she said, I'm a cum queen, and and these things, to me, that pushes it to a higher level. Sometimes what they claim, like what their kink is, or what that can push things that are innocent or accepted to like a whole different stratosphere.
You mean there are female characters that say, yes, I am a, like
Okay.
it's an AA meeting or
So
something like that?
Is the cum queen, is that like self-explanatory? Like I don't need to ask what it is because like I don't think I've heard that before.
I guess my question is it just a woman who likes cum, or is it a woman who just comes so much?
Okay, no.
She just likes sex.
In the book 3 of the Ruinous series, which is a real hot book talk, #1 book, she claims that, and then he's going to come all over her, and then they like to come and then stuff things to keep it in, and she wears it around, and she's calling herself a cum queen.
Is it like this is my hair gel?
I know one. Double penetration. I've run into in the last months that trigger warning had double and it wasn't what I thought it was.
There Chinese finger puppet penetration?
Or a finger in the butt while you're getting fucked in the pussy.
No,
like,
we're talking 2 penises in the vagina at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. I thought it
Well,
was.
I mean,
I thought it was vaginal and anal.
I thought so
it was
too.
double. But anyway, apparently,
I don't think I've ever read that in a book.
oh, okay. Well, I can tell you a
I
couple.
have seen it in porn.
I have spent a lot of time pondering that.
That's a really good question, because I would not consider that double penetration, because you're only penetrating one hole no matter how much you're sticking in it.
But it's double dicks.
Double dick, right? But you know what? We have, so going back to the monster romance, you've got lots of monsters and aliens that have double dicks, but they're not tagged as double penetration.
But I consider that double. I mean, in my mind, that's what I label it as, but
That's
I'm
a
not.
twofer. It's a BOGO.
Well.